welcome to the Indie Bandits Twitch channel and YouTube channel. Tonight we're back on the medieval conquering, I guess, and you're joined by me, Jimmy, and Joe's here as well.
Hello, happy St. George's Day, Jimmy.
Yes, special day for anyone who's English and or a dragon, I guess. I guess it's a day to hide.
Maybe not so special if you're a dragon.
It's a day to spend in the caves, I think, if you're a dragon. Talking about dragons, I guess actually that's got nothing to do with it, but we're going to go beat the Byzantine Empire straight away here and then get to, I guess straight after this, get on the trail of taking over the British Isles and Ireland from the Scots and the Irish, once we've given these Byzantines a kicking.
Yeah. Do you want to hear me crack on for whilst you're setting up for that? I'm going to tell you what I've labelled interesting facts IRL, which are what actually happened in the real world whilst we were playing last time round.
Okay.
And spoiler alert: Henry II dies and is succeeded by his son Richard in 1189. Shortly after that, Richard, that is not Henry, obviously, because being dead and that, Richard joined the Third Crusade, and then in 1199 Richard I dies and is succeeded by his brother John. And if I'm not mistaken, in my massive limited knowledge of history in general, are these not the dudes from Robin Hood?
Yes.
They are, like Lionheart and all that, and
Yeah.
of the Lionheart and all that. Good, okay. Good. So I know who some people are. These guys are swanky. Who are these purple dudes, by the way?
They're the Byzantine. Yeah, they are. Yeah, King John wasn't a good king.
No, he was the shit one, right? He was the one who sucked his thumb in the Disney film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just remembering because he was like, literally, as Disney portrayed him, lil bitch. Right, that was his whole deal. He was like
He
the one who took over whilst his brother was off like actually whooping arse.
Yeah, he was the one that was so bad that the barons of England got together and created Magna Carta to restrict the powers of the monarchy. So that's how bad he was. He peed everybody off.
Yeah, he wasn't very popular.
Hello, Longplay.
Yes, hello, Longplay.
Hey, just quick question for Longplay in the chat. Have you seen the Disney Robin Hood Longplay with all the animals and whatnot?
Narrowing down Disney films by presence of animals, are we? Because I was gonna say, you seen the Disney film where all the major characters are animals? No, I haven't seen that one. But yeah, those were the things that would have happened in our previous game. But I have actually put together some facts about today, as it is St. George's Day, and that's not why we're playing and planning to conquer the rest of the British Isles as Englishmen. But
nope, it's just a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence, but also coincidentally, on the day the 23rd of April. On this day in 1141, which also was covered by a previous episode, Malcolm IV of Scotland, who I believe we defeated in this, right?
Quite handily.
We defeat Malcolm of Scotland? We defeated him quite handily. Did you know that he was born on this day in 1141? Malcolm IV of Scotland, who we hastily dispatched, was born on St. George's Day. Obviously, it wasn't St. George's Day, and it wasn't celebrated at the time as the patron saint of England. Actually, apparently, this wasn't something until like the 1500s. But that King of Scotland was born on the patron saint of England's Day, which you would probably have never admitted.
No, that's something you keep quiet around your pals, isn't it?
In parentheses, I've put was possibly born on this day. It's not for certain. But I also think it's potentially something you might have kept quiet amongst your mates. Well,
if your mates were Scottish, for sure.
Well, if you're also King of Scotland, I guess at the time, you probably don't want to go over and say, hey, everyone.
What day is it again today? Oh, it's my birthday. Oh, yeah, but isn't it another day as well? Like, no, just my birthday. Just my birthday, that's all.
It's also the day Shakespeare died on, and again, his birthday wasn't necessarily today, but it's commonly assumed that it was, because he was baptized a few days, or christened a few days after the day, and they assume he was just born. It's just for, I guess they just assume he was born on this day as well, because it's very poetic, isn't it? Born on the same day you die, and also you're like, you know, the English bard, so
Yeah.
why not have it as the patron saint of England?
Why the hell not?
Yeah, exactly. Moving away from England. Apparently today was the first day that a baseball game was played at Wrigley Field. So if you're American or I guess Chicagoan, this was the first time they played baseball over there.
Yeah, well.
Which is kind of cool for them. The first Soyuz manned mission took place, which is also kind of cool because they just launched a SpaceX thing today, which I watched, and everyone's fine, which is cool. It's a bit nervy. I mean, I like to watch these like launches, but also I get very scared because I don't actually, you know, I want to see like human endeavor at its finest and not anyone, you know, die on a live stream.
Yeah, that would be preferable. Just to answer long play in the chat there, St. George is the patron saint of England and well-known dragon slayer.
And apparently a Roman soldier who might have been Turkish. I think that's the kind of
yes. Was that
funny thing about him.
Was he the one who had the? I can't
Dragon.
remember actually. Well, yeah.
No, I looked into it. It's
like I wonder what they thought it was. You know what I mean? Like what? Because there's always like some weird reason for them thinking certain things. So like I wonder like what it was that they thought were dragons that they decided to go with. Like yeah, okay, just do dragons.
No. Do you know what I think it was? I think it was like a fish this big kind of thing. So you go out and kill some lizard, and you're like, you know, you come back, you know, I've killed this lizard, and they were like, how big was it? This big. And every time everyone passes on the story, the lizard gets a little bigger, and eventually it's just like unreal, and folk are like, oh shit, that's a dragon there, son. That dude killed a dragon.
You look at these piling in. It's like a little mosh pit down here, isn't it? Look at this. Oh, I wouldn't want to fancy being in that.
Or technical ability to like throw on some Slipknot. As long as it says it could have been a very large rat. It probably started as a rat, but by as stories take hold, they were like it was a scaly rat, and it was X rat and Y rat, and next thing you know, it's a whole flipping dragon.
I'm going to get these to come. I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to get them to come down the ladders that they've set up. Look at this. And I'm going to go run around the back here. Oh, the sneakiness.
It's like we've reached Sneaky Fridays.
We have. This is like unreal levels
Fridays,
of sneaky.
It's very clever. I also forgot the last interesting fact about today was the fated day that Coca-Cola launched New Coke. Remember the one where the New Coke was shit, and then they went back to old Coke,
there's like a myth that was like a...
And people think it was a ploy.
A big,
really clever.
Like just a clever marketing ploy.
Well, like the European Super League, perchance.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. Could be a thing. It was like, oh, look, we totally fucked up, and everyone's, who knows? And obviously the final important fact of the day, which we've already mentioned, that it's St. George's Day. That's all the cool things. Not all the cool things that have happened on the 23rd of April, but
it's many of them.
It's the ones of note. Essentially,
they are all Scotland, aren't they?
Oh, they're national, despite their awesome purple.
Go on, get in amongst it.
Long Play says it looks like Florida during COVID. I don't think there was as many Byzantines or English there, but it does remind me of that very early COVID video, which I think we spoke about just on a call.
Oh, and that kid's like, I don't care if I get COVID.
I don't care about the COVID. Yeah, I don't care about the COVID. It's not going to stop me doing spring break. And that guy had to like quit Instagram or whatever because he got so much flack because everyone's like, don't be a dick.
That video did not end well.
That was
not age well, I should say.
Look, it didn't age well about like 30 minutes into its publication. Like,
I wouldn't want to be one of these running away here. They're not getting out. Get them.
I wouldn't. That is the spring breakers after realizing how serious this shit is.
Yeah, the Byzantines are the spring breakers, and my guys are COVID. Don't underestimate.
Too soon. It's never going to be too soon. There's yeah, poor old spring breakers and COVID. Bless them, they had no idea that was like in March. Like, wasn't it? I mean, spring break 2020.
Oh, it totally sucks for like timing and stuff, but like, you know, when you consider people lost their businesses and many people lost their lives, and like, okay, you know, yeah, it sucks you can't have a big party down in Florida, but have some perspective.
People don't have a perspective, but like, also, I guess if you're shit-faced, don't agree to a TV interview, because that dude was so wrecked.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing by going to him, though. They were like, okay, let's go talk to this clearly hammered person.
By all means, he was, oh, bless him, like, no, I know this because I have a mate who nothing to do with COVID, but in the Carnaval de Cádiz, which is like literally like, you know, like Rio de Janeiro, etc., etc. It's like this kind of idea. It's just a big piss up with like costumes and shit. But it happens in Cádiz every year, and it's very popular. And a mate of mine went out there for it. It was his first year in Spain, so he went and attended. He attended, having arrived in Spain with like no Spanish.
All right.
And his Spanish progressed very quickly. Don't get me wrong, but during this, like, I guess like February or March, when this carnival occurred, he was interviewed by a Spanish YouTuber, shit-faced out of his mind, like drunk as fuck, and trying to conduct an interview in a language that he's currently learning, and very drunk. And I mean, kudos to him. He showed up to work on Monday and was like, I woke up on the Sunday with a business card for a Spanish YouTuber in my pocket, and I found this video of me being interviewed, and he showed us all, no matter how embarrassing it was. And it was embarrassing. He was dressed as Dracula in the middle of February because that was the only costume. he's just drunk out of his mind, dressed as Dracula in February because that was the only fancy dress costume he had, and trying to conduct an interview in a language that he's just learning, and it's very embarrassing for him, but very funny. And he understood literally how funny it was, and just
just had a laugh at himself.
Showed everyone. Just had a laugh at himself. Good lad. Good on him for trying to conduct an interview in Spanish. He was very keen on like improving his Spanish. Not that interview did, but at least he had the chutzpah to go and do it.
Yeah. The zero's just been invented, apparently.
The zero, oh shit! As in like the numerical concept.
Yeah.
Of nothing.
I didn't mean to end the turn. Whoops.
I've done that a few times in my game, actually. This is I don't know. Sometimes you think you've got nothing else to do. I mean, maybe it did in later games, but it needs to have a kind of crack on where it like tells you that that you have nothing you can possibly do. Because that's what Civ does. Civ has this like no further moves. There's nothing else you can do now. You can only micromanage. But this doesn't tell you if units have moves or not. Maybe
no, but in the newer ones,
it
definitely improves that by like suggesting like, you know, this person hasn't moved. Are you sure your turn's ready then? Type of thing. It's better.
Sure.
And the Spanish are back at war with us apparently, so that's fun.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to have to disagree with you, Longplay, on the potential opinion of Florida. Florida is, I'm going to change Longplay's adjective to interesting. It is an interesting place. It has a very unique perspective against everything else that seems to be going on. And I very much like the idea that you can search your birthday / Florida man. Have you done this game, James? Where you just search like your birthday?
Think I have, no.
Okay, so you search Florida man in quotation marks because you're looking for a newspaper headline. So you search Florida man and then the date of your birthday.
Right.
Because obviously all headlines start Florida man, X, Y's, and Z's.
Oh, got you. Yeah, okay.
So you search that and your birthday, and guaranteed on your birthday, Florida man, nondescript Florida man, is doing something mental. You know, so it's like I could search like Florida man, 21st of October, which is my birthday. Send presents. I can search Florida man 21st of October, and I'll get results like Florida man fists alligator. Do you know what I mean? You'll get something like that's probably like underselling how mental the headline you'll get if you search Florida man plus your birthday. If you do a new search for any headline that contains Florida man is going to have a fun result. And as mental as that is, as a Geordie, I think I feel like I kind of vibe with that, because I think we're in the UK, we're sort of in the same boat.
Geordie man.
Like
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't say Geordie man; they'd probably say Newcastle man. I mean,
Geordie lad.
I mean, if they said Geordie man, it would probably be Geordie, man, as in the
Geordie man.
as in the the interjection we use to finish sentences. It's like Canadians finishing questions with the word a. You know how we use affirmative sentences? We finish them with man.
Home man.
Longplay just adds that the UK is often referred to the Florida as Europe. Sad, but true. And
Prince Robert the Cuckold. What the hell?
Oh, bless him. He's an actual cook. I mean, like, an actual thing that like has been like boycotted by the right for people they don't think is manly enough.
Lacks manhood.
Hmm?
He's a great commander, but he apparently lacks manhood. He's ignorant.
Like his manhood.
He
has no cock, or
so short on self-respect is this man that those who bed his wife openly laugh about it to his face, just before passing water on his shoes.
Sweet Jesus.
Poor Prince Robert.
That is fucking... I thought you were just like making that up, and then I saw you were highlighting the crack on over his thing.
He's the heir apparent to England as well. Like, I mean,
oh, we need to sort this out. We need to have like a car crash in a tunnel in Paris or something. Sort out this royal family. Sorry, too soon.
Disrespect, fair fighter, night fight. I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with this guy. Like, he's he knows...
with taxes. Is it like because it's the 23rd of April and he hasn't done his yet?
Captain Ricardo, man,
is
sod off,
tax
would you?
season in the US? I know, like April is like the tax month, right? Because they have to do their own taxes, even though they already know what they all are. For some reason, it's a weird system that doesn't.
Yeah, I read somewhere the other day that you have to pay to have the taxes done in America. Is that true?
Not if you do. I think it's not if you do them yourself. But essentially, they're so complicated that everyone just pays someone to do them. It's
right.
like big
Okay.
business.
So it's like that's
and also
crazy.
And all the people that all the people that like make the software, all the people that make the software heavily lobby to stop the system becoming simple enough so people don't need their software to do it.
There's a shock.
Longplay says people would rather do that than do basic math, but essentially, I don't know. I pay someone to do mine because I just don't want to do the forms. Like, I just don't want to fill out forms.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a case of you had to pay to submit them. Like, you got to pay to submit them to then pay your taxes. But I was like, that is insane if that's the case.
No, it's like you can't do them. You can just file them for free.
Right. Okay, then that's all right then.
But the thing is, I like over here in Spain, I worked out that my time is worth more than the amount it would cost to just pay someone to do it for me. Yeah. And the risk of me getting it wrong is not worth it. So I pay an accountant to do all my filing, but I'm self-employed. And as Longplay says, are they overcomplicated? Maybe they are apparently intentionally overcomplicated, and there are rules and laws and agreements in place to keep them so.
Right.
And for the and if you, I mean, you're self-employed in the UK, James, and for a while so was I. And
Yeah.
I will add, in the UK they are like mad simple in comparison to what they are in Spain, because you just file once a year and just say the numbers, and I could do it in 5 minutes when I was in the UK. It's quarterly in Spain and much more complicated, and I think the US is even more complicated than that. And for the average person, and the fact that every average person has to do it, this is not something that just the self-employed have to do, because here in Spain this is something I have to do because I'm self-employed, and in the UK it's something you have to do because you're self-employed. If you work for a company or are in the employ of someone, either in Spain or in the UK, your taxes are just done. Do you know what I mean? Like, they are...
Oh, yeah, like someone just... It just gets done as part of being an employee.
It gets your taxes get taken off your paycheck at pay.
Yeah.
Essentially, and then it's done, and then the government does it for you. And what I've seen in the US is that the IRS already has all the information they need, and they just kind of like check it against the information you give them to see if you slip up, which is sort of weird. Whereas, like, I know in the UK that, like, they'll look at the numbers and be like, hang on, you overpaid, here's some money back. And if you want to contest that, you can. And like, that's how it works. Like, if it comes over and you think it seems kind of stinky, you can like claim against it. Essentially, that's how it works. And yeah, and it just like it's all done, and then you can contact. It's done ahead of time, and then afterwards they sort it out. Whereas in the US, it's kind of like they already have all the info and are just waiting for you to slip up. That's the impression I got, and. But Longplay says there's like a certain form, a double-sided sheet you can do and confirm your name and numbers, and that's it. But against the point against the UK, you guys still have to do that. In the UK, it's already done for you. Your tax is already paid, and like if you work a regular job, there is never any filing of tax. It's already done. It's all done and dusted by the start and end of the tax year. There's no filling out of anything. It's already just most places just I don't know what they call it. I forget the exact term, but it's essentially you're taxed on your pay slip. So you get your pay slip and it already tells you what tax you've paid, and at the end of the year the government checks that against what you've earned.
Yep. Ooh, what's happening there? It's getting a bit weird. Whoa.
Are we fighting over tax systems here? Is this Spain versus England?
It is, yeah. We're fighting over work ethic.
Well, not to be racist, but no, I'll give up first. Well, is that all are they all having a siesta out there? What they're doing?
They're using this ballista to smash down walls, and I decided I'm just going to leave the walls because there's no point in defending them, and I've decided to create a little defensive area down here. And then we'll go from there, and we'll see what they can do. I think we might lose this one because they've got a much better army than we do.
Can we not pinch point them or something?
I'm going to try and pinch them here, and then when they pile up, I'm going to use my knights to go around the back and crunch them. Also shoot them a little bit when they come down the corridor there. These guys have got a nice sort of view down the street.
Longplay says there are still some simple forms, but it's like, I still think if you're like proper busy with life, and it says you can get the paper free from a library. I mean, if you're proper busy with life, or if your life isn't like utter chaos, you might even forget it's April. Like, you know, it just seems like a system that catches out the people who are like hardest up against it, people who are having the toughest time.
Yeah, things like filing taxes should be as simple as possible. You shouldn't try to catch people out on that tax, especially when most people are like honest and they're not trying to escape anything.
The people who are getting caught out, it seems like they are the people who are honest.
That's what I mean. It's like
Do you know
all
what I
you
mean?
do
Like,
is
the
you
people
stop.
that get caught out, the people like, oh my god, I forgot to file my taxes because I was so busy and I have 2 kids and I work like stupid hours and I'm really tired and I'm on the breadline.
Oh yeah.
This system doesn't catch out people who have teams of accountants. Lumley says, if you met an American, honesty is not our strong suit. Vicious opportunist is more like it. Look, I was chatting with an American tonight from San Diego, actually, lovely lad, and essentially, the mentality was described as basically everyone's told that everyone could still become a billionaire, and a tiny part of your brain still believes that.
Yeah.
I guess that it's like, but it reminds me. There's a what's this the Scouse comedian John Bishop.
John Bishop, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's him talking about being a ball boy at a football match. So like walking out with walking out of the tunnel onto the pitch with the football players.
Yeah.
And I think he explains the whole thing is that every single fan in the ground still believes that if the manager said, "Shit, we're short a player. Can you put a shirt on and have a go?" Every single person, a tiny part of their brain, still believes that they could like get on that pitch and play. Do you know what I mean? Like even if they're like a really fat 40-year-old bloke, they still think they could like give it a go and go pro.
The
Do you know what I
dream's
mean? Like,
still alive.
the dream never dies, and I think that's sort of like the financial. That's the way this San Diegoite, whatever they're called, was explained to me. It's like the mentality is still sort of like there. Like the dream never dies. That tiny spark is never extinguished. At least not in terms of financial mobility. So no matter how many people policy seems to
the enemy have ladders at the walls
to hinder
the attackers. Give them steel.
You're kind of like, well, yes, apparently these new laws will be of the detriment to thousands of people. I still think I can make it big. I still have the American dream in the same way. Like, these football fans still believe at like 40 and like totally past it, they could still play top level football.
Yeah.
If you knew. And there's and Long Play says it's beaten into you if you're a certain class. I think in the US is what I've seen is everyone just says they're middle class regardless of their financial situation. Like if you divided the US population into thirds, most people wouldn't be middle class, but the term seems to get applied pretty broadly. I think that's the thing. It's like I don't know this deal. I mean, we're not getting into like too much of class struggle, but I get the impression that Americans think that that the British are very obsessed with class because we mention it more. But I also mentioned I would also say that we're actually just more aware of it, and I think this is literally due to proximity. That like our population density is higher, so you're more likely to see people of various socioeconomic levels. If you get me, like growing up, we could wait. You can walk 10-15 minutes back home and walk from an incredibly poor area to a pretty rich area. That's easily done. I think with just the sheer space and how like neighborhoods are organized in the US, there's like the bad part of town, the good part of town, and if you get the bus anywhere, which is not that common in the US, but if you get the bus anywhere, most bus routes probably through certain parts of the UK will go through a broad spectrum of socioeconomic classes. Especially if they're going from like commuter areas into the city centers where most people work. I feel in the US people drive and they don't see it as much. With my ex, that was mostly the case. I'm like, you get in your car, you leave your house, but you don't even leave your house. You get in your car, which is in your garage, and use your little beeper to open the garage door, and then you drive out. and then you drive into a parking lot or a car park at work, and then you're there. You don't see any of it. You don't walk down the bus stop. You don't get on the bus. You don't sit shoulder to shoulder with people, and it's like the look. Classes exist in the US whether people want to talk about it, and I don't think people should be classed by class, obviously, but my point is that socio-economic levels exist in every country. So just admitting it, I think, is not having a label for it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If you get me, like everyone's saying they're middle class, it's like you still have to say upper and lower middle class, etc., etc. But as Longplay says, we ascribe our worst traits to Britain, which is incredibly fair. Look, we know we have. There's a bit of saltiness. I don't know why you guys are so salty. You won that war. Pyrrhic victory, I believe. But look, we didn't want to lose the homeland to France, so I think we made the right decision. And I might also say
only intervention by the Almighty or a military
he is about
genius
250
can bring us
years.
victory from this.
It's arguable how well you've done with that time. Might be worth rescinding the license of independence if we have that. There is a very funny Facebook group that I was a member for a long time where it was like to revoke American independence, and it was super tongue in cheek, and it was like you've proven you can't govern yourselves, so you're going. It was super patriotic. You're going to go under the crown, and
was that the John Cleese one?
I don't know, but it's like we're going to put salt in your tea and crack on like that for all the tea you spoiled in like Boston and stuff like that. It was very funny, and there was an American one saying you can become the 51st. The UK will become the 51st state of America because yous are too stupid. Yous need to drive on the right hand side of the road, etc. etc. It was all very fun, except for the people who obviously didn't get that. It was a joke and got very angry in the comments, whatever. So I left that group because it was just like angry hate.
Like, come on, man! It's so obviously a joke.
Yeah, I know. Longplay says in the US, rich neighborhoods are literally one street away from the terrible ones. I have been to he says Beverly Hills is like two blocks in a terrible. Yes, 2 blocks is a terrible slum. I have been to Beverly Hills, and yes, that's a large. I think in larger cities that is the case, but in the smaller towns I've been to where people have more space and the population density is lower, then I think that does differ. In cities, there's no choice. Like every kind of like border is like squeezing in on itself, and I mean it's a bit like, as you see in this game, Europe. All our borders are really close, and we just fought with each other for what seems like thousands and thousands of years. I mean, there was no I don't know, everyone was on everyone's toes and they just fought each other, but in larger US cities, neighborhoods, suburbs, etc., they all kind of encroach on each other, so you have no choice, I'm guessing. Like once one grows into another. But in smaller towns and cities in inverted commas, I'll say, because there's a lot of US cities that wouldn't be classified as cities in the UK because they're just too small in terms of population, but I think there's a very North American thing. I don't know what the rules are for classifying something as a city, but there's a lot of very small places that would barely constitute villages in the UK, if you get me.
Yeah.
But they just call themselves cities, even though there's like only 20,000 people there, which is very small. That's a town at best. In places like that, especially places that are very spread out, where everyone's got like a house and a yard and a garden, etc., so the population is very spread out. I think in cases like that, then you do end up with neighborhoods that don't really interact with each other that much. I guess. You know, you don't have people of differing socioeconomic groups on top of each other riding the same bus, working together. You know, you spread each other out. And Longplay mentions how small North Dakota. No, not how small. How sparsely populated North Dakota is. But that's the kind of thing. Yes, there's a. I mean, the US doesn't do things by halves. I think that's the rule. If they have big cities, they're the biggest cities. If they have absolute deserts, they're also the biggest deserts. You get me? They're like. You want densely populated areas? We got them. You want sparsely populated areas? There is no one here for 20 miles. You have all the extremes. It's that's the thing. There's, I guess it's the melting pot or whatever you want to call it. It's just like it's a big mix, and it's a big mix, and it's a big mess. And I don't mean that in a negative factor. I just in a negative way. I think it's kind of like, you know, when you have a night out and it's your schoolmates and your workmates, and you're like, oh, this isn't going to go well. I think it's kind of like that. You're like, you know, all these different groups together with all differing interests and everything. It's tough. I have no idea how you would manage the US, like, because, and I don't mean like, you know, differing races. I don't think the melting pot is essentially difficult to manage, because areas with loads of different races can work really well. Like New York's a powerhouse, but you have everything from every end of the scale. And it's too tough. It's and it's so bipolar and partisan, and people aren't moving toward. It seems like people aren't moving towards one another. They're moving away. They're like polarizing everything. That's at least the view from Europe. Correct me if I've got it wrong, but that's the way it seems to be. It's like, if you're not with us, you're against us.
Yes, there's very little nuance with it all. There's no grey area.
But there's no compromise either. It doesn't seem that no one's moving towards a compromise. It's like, fuck you for trying to do the opposite of what I want to do. Fuck you for trying to do the thing that I don't want to do. It's like, you are immediately my enemy and I hate you. That seems to... That seems to be what I see. But Longplay says that we basically all agree. I hope they follow up with, but everyone puts us into camps or boxes and tells us we have to pick one side or another.
Holy crap, man, to win. Go get them.
The people who are the right side are a minority, and they're so far right they have no interest. I think people have banded into camps. At least that's what the rhetoric seems.
Only half the enemy force remains.
I guess that's what the rhetoric seems for me. It's like the two camps are so far apart that, like, you just pick one for life, and that's your lot. It's a tough system with the polarization. I am I don't know what you even call it, a lifer. I don't know what you call it. I think you and I, James, agree a lot that, like, we're not that into party politics.
No, I think it's had its day.
I don't even think it should have had a day. I think the idea that you, at least not in the system we have in the UK, where the idea is you send a representative from your town to go to the capital and, like, fight in your corner. That's the idea, right? That's your representative. They're meant to represent you, not some group of mates. Like, they should just, you know, they should just go and say what the people who voted them in want them to say. And they should go say that in London, where the parliament is, essentially.
Yeah.
It's annoying to vote someone in and then watch them disagree with everything you voted them in for because the party they belong to disagrees with it. Because they have a bigger agenda, which is beyond what you said. That's the kind of, I guess that's the kind of crap we don't agree with. So, you know, party politicians and all that nonsense. It's like
Also, being a career as well. Like, I would
career
consider
politicians.
it's supposed to be a public service, and if you make it into a career and give someone a ladder to climb, they'll climb that ladder to the detriment of the reason they're supposed to be there, which is supposed to be to serve the public.
Like, imagine if you could only have one term as an MP or something like that. I mean, they have term limits in the US, or for that exact reason, because, you know, if someone did, even if they were really good, even if they did accidentally like get into power, that system could be abused. Like, I think term limits are a very sensible idea.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because even the best person, the best person, Longplay says they don't have term limits. All right, yes, but the president has term limits. But yes, exactly, for like senators and shit like that, they can be lifers, and Supreme Court, Jesus, that is a lifetime appointment until you like time them all together and you, as Trump did, and just like threw in a load of his, even though
Only intervention by the Almighty or a military
they
genius
chose
can
not to
bring us
vote in. I think they chose not to vote in new ones, if I recall, under Obama, because they were like, it's an election year. Don't elect a new Supreme Court judge because it's not fair. And then the notorious RBG, I think it was, died, and then Trump was like, got a new one, and it was like, hang on a second. And that turtle looking guy, you know, from Kentucky, you know who I mean, the senator, what's his name? I can't remember his name. McConnell? Is he called McConnell? Mitch McConnell? I'm thinking he's Mitch McConnell. The one looks a bit like a turtle. He looks like it's like a turtle met Droopy, the cartoon dog. Longplay says, we know you mean McConnell. It is McConnell. Yes, Mitch McConnell. I got it. I knew Mitch McConnell, yeah. But I'm fairly certain he was like, you can't vote in a new Supreme Court justice in an election year. And then the second his party was involved in it, they were like, let's do it. You can't delay it, because if you elect your new guy, etc., etc. Like, I'm not saying that like either party is clear, but I think both parties and all parties and everything just play these like flipping games which are like schemy as fuck and totally unfair, you know, where it's just like, you can't take, none of you can take the moral high ground, because you're all a bunch of like, I don't know, I don't want to say the word that I'd want to use because you lack morality on every scale. It's like, you are not here to do what's best for the people that voted you in. You are here to earn your money and further your career, and then nash off.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way. Let's
So,
pray it remains as such.
see how I have to see how it goes. It's all, oh jeez, politics. Didn't want Friday night politics. I just wanted slaughtering Spaniards.
Well,
And
I think I've managed to win this one.
ranting English patriotism. That's the flag of Castile, by the way.
Well, there's a lot of Spanish who won't be going back for the tapas.
I think they're having a nap. They're actually, we were talking about how it was St. George and that. I would like to add that it's St. George is the patron saint of Catalonia, and it's also like National Book Day. I think it's International Book Day actually, but it is common practice in Catalonia for St. George, or San Jordi as he's called. I know Jordi's a great name, love it. Used to live in Catalonia. I used to live with a bloke named Jordi. But San Jordi, or St. George,
Mr.
the deal
Jordi.
is you live with a I live with a Geordie. Well, you and the Catalan known as Geordie, and it's common practice on the day of St. George to gift a book. That's like what you do on St. George's Day if you're in Catalonia. I don't know why, but I think that's why the International Book Day thing is a thing on today, because the practice is to gift somebody a book. Which I also think is kind of awesome. I think like knowledge is power. People should read more. I say, having read like 2 books in my entire life, and having read 4 books in my entire life, and all of them being in the Space Odyssey series, but I just read too much in my day job to actually sit down and read a book. You get me?
Oh
That's,
my god!
That's my problem with books, but it's a good crack on. I think a sub-national holiday, well, national holiday if you're Catalan,
God,
I
are they
guess,
attacking us?
because you believe in the nation state. But a sub-national holiday in which you gift books, I think is really cool. I think like less Furbies, more books. I don't know if that's a campaign slogan I could go off, but you know what I mean. Like, I think that we should have more holidays in which learning is promoted, and it's not like seen as something like nerdy or shit or lame or anything like that. I think.
God, that's worth 250 gold a turn. The sugar.
And we still own Alexandria, and they're not that bothered about.
First, you get the sugar.
Then you get the. We used to do my sugar. I nipped it. Once you were having Simpsons, right?
I'd do it again. Yeah, Simpsons.
That's an excellent episode. I can't remember the bees or something like that. I can't remember what that episode's about. Oh, it's with Lisa's rival. It's the one where she's got that girl who I play first chair and sax, etc., etc. You know, and she has the what's it? Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy's iron.
Yeah. And the other girl has a genuine class. Alec Guinness. Here's a ball. Perhaps you'd like to bounce it.
Doesn't she bounce it off her foot as well, and it gets away from her?
Yeah, it rolls away. Yeah, she throws it straight on her foot, and it just like goes, you'll get it next time or something like that. Oh,
Right,
geez.
we're having. Are we gonna have Inverness or not?
We are so gonna have Inverness.
Let's give it a go.
We have to give it a go.
There'll be no escaping us now. Attack!
He's up for it anyway.
He seems keen,
Yes, he's very keen.
enthusiastic, and enthusiastic. Who is it? Well, it's not Niccolo Machiavelli. That's just the quote.
It's Henry, I think. Is it Henry? Let's give it.
Is
the
it-
one.
Is he the dude who died? The one who in real
No,
life
there we
died?
go. Weather's a bit better now. Oh, it's a bit nippy up north in Scotland, isn't it? Ella?
Always is. Always is, to be
All
fair.
these guys are like, you sure you want to be attacking this place? Like, do we need this one? He's like,
yes.
Yeah, we do.
It's on
yeah.
principle. St. George's Day, and it's Malcolm's birthday, and we need to make a point. Even though Malcolm died many moons ago.
You can go down there, down there, start ball. You go, you go, can I go there? So you have to go over there. Ladders! Alright. Shoot them. And you shoot them.
Seems like a lot of people are gonna get shot.
That's what we're doing. We're shooting these brave chaps with their skirts on. I'd have more than a skirt on in this, like.
I wouldn't.
Be a bit chilly on the legs.
Sexy. I think it's worth it. I'd have to shave my legs though, obviously. Right. Why are they all in? There are fellas, right?
No.
I assume they're.
That's them. This is ours.
Yeah.
We're the ones in their fancy uniforms out here.
Why are we not in the skirts? I was gonna say that don't look like us. It's not traditional English attire.
We have hired some of theirs though. Look at that.
We have some jocks for hire.
We do. With these big axes going. We'll get up on them walls and give them a spanking.
Jock's ready to kick some ass.
Who wants to see some jock on jock action? Actually, I should probably tell them to stop shooting, actually.
Stop shooting the jocks. We want to see some jock action. Jock on jock. Bit of GOJ.
Oh no. How have they managed to get that set on fire? It's like... I don't know, I guess it could be dry weather.
I think it's dry. I think it's just cold heat.
What are they
Let's start a fire.
What are these nutters doing? He's going up the other ladders now. Your ladder's not good enough.
We prefer the Scottish ladders.
I want to get up there. That looks much nicer than mine.
We need to get up the ladder, you know. I don't know what accent that is, but not Scottish is what I was going for. I could have just used my own accent because that's not Scottish either. I don't know why I put on a voice to indicate that they were English. I don't know. I should have went to drama school.
Well, I think we're going to do alright here, so I'm just going to get these to stop shooting. You stop shooting as well.
Why are they stopping shooting?
Because they're just going to shoot my guys on the walls.
Oh, they actually, there's like friendly fire in that crack.
Yeah.
It's like Rainbow Six Siege, which we're all pros at now.
Oh my god.
Just you.
We need to be, I don't have to, technically I'm pro now, aren't I?
Now that you've left the newcomer server and
I can no longer. I'm not allowed to even play in the newcomer server.
You're not allowed to play Rainbow Six Siege with me and Archie.
No.
I might just reach the non-newcomer level 50, I believe it is, and then just quit the winner. Just quit the winner. Just be like, quit. You know, like a player on top of that game. It's just like, I'm retiring now. Nico Rosberg in the Formula One, who's like in the World Championship. I'm done. I'm like, well, is that because you couldn't beat Lewis Hamilton the second time? I think it is, but also
well, of course it was because he got super lucky in that year that he won. I'm not saying he's not a good driver, but I think didn't Lewis Hamilton have like a crazy number of
a lot of DNFs,
do not finishes,
engine issues. Yeah. It was not great. I mean,
and he still nearly won it.
I mean, if you watch interviews with Nico Rosberg, he is totally like, I got in Lewis Hamilton's head. Yeah.
He didn't.
And I think to some extent he did. He took him. He got.
I'm not sure that's got anything to do with how competent the
no, but I think he got the look
is.
and also shook him as well. I think it was like, but all the factors had to be in his favor, and he did it. And then he's like, "Fuck me, it's done. Quit the winner. I'm off. Fuck yous all. I've got a world championship. I am a Formula One world champion. I'm leaving. See you later." And I don't fucking blame him. Like, I think it's like I kind of like as a personality, I like him. I think it's a good kind of crack on where he's just like, I did what I wanted to do, and now I'm just gonna go like fucking enjoy my life. Like, why break my balls for like 5 more years fighting against a guy who is like, who won? I think he won like 3 or 4 world championships before that. He spent like 3 or 4 years going just like, my teammate's really tough to beat. I'm gonna beat him. Fuck it, I beat him. Yeah, all right. Just leave it as that. And I think that's kind of cool. Like, had a goal, achieved it, fucked off. Like,
yeah.
Soldiers have proved their worth today. The enemy's
I mean, he's got like, I don't know if he has kids, but like, he's got a wife. You know, if he doesn't have kids, either way, wife and or kids, he's just like, they can't go through that again. They can't have me coming home from work being a dick because I've had a bad day at the office. when I literally earned millions and I did what I wanted to do. I can't put them through. Like, that's the way it feels, and now he just fucking YouTube videos and shit. It's like, and I don't mean just like he has a YouTube channel. I mean like he is like a YouTuber. Like the content he outputs is very YouTube, if you get what I mean. It's him like selfie cam walking around and like filming himself and going, here's me doing this, here's me fucking snorkeling in Mallorca, here's me fucking playing a set of Corsa on me PC with me steering wheel and stuff like that. Like he's went full on YouTuber, and it's mental and it's great.
Weird.
Hey Lam, it's kind of cool. In other Formula One news, Roman Grosjean, the one who had the horrendous crash last year, like fire and everything, where you thought like he could have died. He's well, he didn't leave Formula One; he was pushed out. But he's in IndyCar in the US now. But he's like really pushing his YouTube channel now as well, and like filming his like motorhome and shit like that. He actually had a YouTube channel for a long time, and it just had like zero traction, like nothing.
He was the one that was like
was
crazy accident prone though, wasn't he? Like he constantly got into like...
Oh yeah, Roman Grosjean crashed all the time. Like every time there was an accident, you were like, oh, I can guess who it is.
Yeah.
He was quick though, like as the commentator
Well,
say,
I'd be quick as well, but
on,
you know, if I kept crashing...
No, but I mean, he was like, you know, on an error-free day, he had the pace. Like, as the commentators say, quick on his day, which is like when you string together a whole lap and like get everything right, like your lap times are good. And he was a driver who could be quick, but there was a lot of silly, what seems like silly errors. He seemed more error-prone than most, but even his horrendous crash, you could argue there is some. A lot of you know, some error on his part as well. Like, you know, it wasn't a fluke accident. I mean, thank God he got out of the flames and everything like that.
Yeah.
And also he's one of the drivers that actually, like, in interviews seems like a nice guy. You know, just he's not a cocky dickhead or anything like that. He's just an alright dude. And like, even when he had like all his hands bandaged up, he's just like, I am so chuffed that like I'm not dead. It's like I'm so happy I can do like a media day with you guys and just spend like 9 hours doing interviews. Like, I'm having a great time because I didn't die in that accident. And I even watched him do on his YouTube channel do like a track guide. So
Right.
on, like on his like sim, like he drives the track and says this way brake, this way turn. Yeah, I mean, well, we know where to turn. It's the corners, obviously, but you know, he tells you like the braking points and says like how you take each corner and like the best way to do it and all that. And he was explaining the track, the Bahrain track, where he had the horrendous accident, and he was driving. He goes, "This barrier's changed. This is my barrier. This is the barrier where I crashed at," and they had to change it after that race. So on this game, it's not updated, but there's my barrier. And he just drove past it and, like, nothing the matter. This is the barrier where I nearly died at in a horrendous accident, but there it is. And it was kind of cool. He was just very open and honest and genuine. And I also like the fact now that, like, Formula One drivers and race car drivers or whatever are getting more involved in, like, the sim / esports side of things, because I don't know, it sort of like brings together, like,
legitimizes it a bit more.
That, but also like makes them more like gamers and less like sportsmen. Like, to me, it like brings them closer to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah, I can play that game and do what they did on like my wheel and pedals. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't see it. You know, if a footballer played FIFA, I wouldn't be like, all right, cool, I can do what he does. You know what I mean? It's not quite that. But you know, I like that kind of like. It just makes them more down to earth, if you get me. Like, you know, it's like the idea.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, this dude's like actually just like sat playing a computer game to check how well he can drive a race car. I wish we could see more of that. You know, it'd be cool to see like Boris Johnson playing Medieval 2 Total War to see how good he is at managing a country, I feel it would not go well. But, you know, like, right, nah, not doing the crusade. I'm not telling no new Europeans, this Italian telling us what to do. I'm not having any of it.
Oh, they've just... Why do they keep... You've got all these priests trying to, you know, spread the good word and that down here in Egypt, and they keep sending these inquisitors to burn them at the stake. So can you just...
Is that not because... Are
calm
they not
down?
just Spanish?
No, they're from the Papal States. So can you just stop doing that? And just let me priests live for more than like 2 turns before you burn
I
them?
need to ask Longplay if he's asking about Boris Johnson.
Oh my god, Joe.
starting SimCity,
This guy's second name is Spark.
and he's about to be set on fire. Does not every fire start with a spark? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
This one does.
The Inquisition.
And
Alright, sorry John, that's a bit harsh.
if Longplay is talking about Boris Johnson starting with SimCity,
At your
he technically
service.
did, I guess, as mayor of London. Well, the Alexandrian stuff, we don't have Cairo, right? But the Alexandrian,
We'll start sending these to England at once.
they like really hate us. I mean, obviously because they're Muslims and we're just like Catholicism, and they're like, nope.
Actually, it's more the Byzantines that hate us right now. We made peace with the Egyptians. They're alright with us at the minute.
So they're just there like picking up the scraps. They're like, hang
They're like,
on.
you know what, we lost Alexandria, but we've still got Cairo. We're not feeling terrible about it. Let's just move on with our lives.
Yeah, but the Byzantines are like, well, this is our opportunity to attack Egypt without attacking Egypt, right? That's like a really
yeah,
cool
pretty
position
much,
to be
yeah.
in, right?
It's not going to do well there, is it?
Longplay asks if Boris Johnson was a terrible mayor. I wasn't in London at the time.
Couldn't tell you.
But he also says like didn't do the stuff he promised to do, etc.
Taking the
Longplay.
troops ashore, sire.
Every politician ever. Like,
Hail my king.
all you have to
As you
do
will,
is
my king.
promise to do stuff
Laying siege,
and
noble sire.
fail enough that, I guess, just fail less than people think you would, and then people think you're a success, right? Broken promises is like the bread and butter of politicians. You promise loads to get elected, and then make sure you just meet the ones that people will remember.
Yeah,
I
or
see
just
that
coast
type of
and just
works.
hope that you get voted in again, because the system's only set up to support 2 major parties, so you've got a 50-50 shot even if you were terrible.
What, Ian Men's?
Oh god, yeah. Talking about a bloke stealing a wage.
Just join a political party in a super safe area and just get voted in over and over again.
Literally never ever do a thing.
I couldn't tell you what he's done. Could not tell you. But
Couldn't tell you
I
what
would
anyone's done.
I would love to be a Labour politician.
In the
Back home.
northeast, yeah.
Guaranteed vote.
Oh yeah, for sure. Coast for a couple of years, talk about how much of an institution the NHS is and how you need to protect it, and then get voted back in.
Longplay mentions the running unopposed. That is yeah. I mean that's like stinky as hell, and is it threaten violence against the opponent? You do in some cases with politics being such like a career game. I guess you could just run in the places where you know you're gonna win. Do you know what I mean? Like I guess I could just go to like a heavily Republican or Democrat area and just be like, can I run here? And if you've been a member of the party long enough, they'll be like, yeah, you just need to fill the seat. You just need to like register as a member of that party when you run for office, and people will vote for you because they won't actually look at any of your policies, and they'll just pick you based on your like tribal affiliation to the political party that you belong to. And seats are given. I could literally say anything. I could like, I don't know, you could rock up in Texas and be like, run for whichever party's in power, but run a zero stakes policy, and I mean like stakes as in like cuts of beef. Just say like I'm gonna outlaw steaks and no one would notice, and they'd just vote for you because you're like the right political party, and then you get voted in and you'd be like steaks are banned, and they'd be like wait, what the fuck? Barbecues are banned, just banned all of them. You had no idea, you didn't read my policies, did you? Joke's on you. I mean, well, be joke on me as well because I like a good barbecue, but you know what I mean. It's like people could literally fuck themselves over their vote by just voting for the political party that they think represents them.
Or the one that they or their family have voted for generations. Style thing. Oh, we've always voted this way, and like, right, okay. Would it not be more pragmatic to just weigh each candidate up on their merits every single time, and then vote for the best one?
Yeah, but people don't like that, and I get it to some extent. People would love every decision they have to make to be simplified and dumbed down as much as possible. And don't get me wrong, like I didn't vote in every single election I was privy to. Every general election I did, but no, like I was not like every council election I'm a vote. Every any whatever election, I did not vote at every opportunity I had to vote.
No,
and a lot of people don't. And some people draw the line higher than I do and won't even vote in the like general election or presidential election. And politicians know this. Politicians know exactly at what level people vote and how interested in voting people are, so they'll just play to that.
Yep.
It's a shame. It's a shame, but it's the same. It's the same reason we have like drive-through food and that. People want the easy option. Do you know what I mean? Like people want ease. If you show up and go, here's the easiest way for this all to go away, you're like, yeah, all right, cool. And all I have to do is go cross a box. One place says I vote for everything. I assume that means they show up for every election opportunity they have. But I would love the idea that they just vote for everything. Like they just show up and
tick
cross
all the boxes.
for, we're just like everything. What do you believe in? Everything. Are you for or against it? Yes. Just yes on everything. It's like we were playing City Skylines not too long ago. I did not carry on the city that we were playing on, but I did make my own city, and it's going quite well. But I also just enacted all of the like policy options. It totally destroyed the economy. Like I just like smoking ban, yes. Pet ban, yes. Mandatory green cars or whatever, yes. I just like enacted every like government policy I could, where it just like checked all the boxes for no reason to see what would happen. I just assumed they were all good. They're not all good. So legalized weed, that was good. People were happier. Banned pets, people were unhappier, but it's all worked out. Just did all of it. It totally ruined the economy of my town, but I voted for everything. I just was like yes to yes, which I think would be my slogan if I ran for any kind of office. I'd just like say yes to yes. Like yes, that Jim Carrey film, Yes Man.
Yeah.
Yes to everything. Just go for it, see what happens. Say yes to everything, see if it works out. Probably won't, but
no, I don't think it would. But give it a
you'll
try.
have a laugh.
Come up with a really catchy slogan. Yes is better, and then change your second name to Yes, and then vote yes.
Oh, yes means yes. It could all work. I feel most of it is was Obama's not yes we can, or we can do it, or just do it.
I'll do mine as how are the lads.
How are that? You'd get a lot of votes in the northeast if your slogan was "How are the lads?" Go up to Scotland and just have Mon the whatever. just what? Run in Scotland, Mon the Jimmy. That's almost as good as my chocolate Thomas, Mon the Jiffy, Mon the Jiffy, Mon the Jimmy. And just, but this is what we've had. This is what politics is like boiled down to. It's like, what was it? Get Brexit done, be awesome and Geordie or whatever. I can't remember what the other slogans were, but it was like get Brexit done was just the slogan. Like 3 words. Don't worry about it. I forget what Trump's was as well. What was Trump's?
Make America great again.
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah, it was the MAGA thing, wasn't it? Yeah. So you've got like you've got the MAGA thing. You got get Brexit done. Like you need the catchy slogan, especially one that people can chant. Jesus, like that's so. It's so cynical, but it's so clever. Like you can't criticize how clever it is.
Oh yeah, that's why people are paid a lot of money to come up with these things.
Yeah, well, like the Obama one as well. It's not like Trump invented it. Like you're not getting. I'm not getting partisan on this shit. The Obama one was like, I forget what Obama's was. Yes, we can.
I can't remember.
Was that the Obama? I think it was. I think it was Yes We Can. I'm thinking it's like.
Isn't that Bob the Builder's slogan, Joe?
No, that was Can We Fix It?
Yeah.
What's it? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Potentially. Well, I vote for Bob the Builder, I guess. Hang on. What was the? I mean, there was the Hope posters. I'm looking it up, pal. I'm looking it up. Change. Apparently. Oh, here we go. List of. Oh. Yeah. Yes, we can. Barack Obama campaign chant 2008. Yes, we can.
He's running, but he was Bob the Builder then.
Well, Bob the Builder would shout, "Can we fix it?" And Obama
We'll go, yes,
Obama,
we can. Yeah.
Not the Builder. Was that your Obama voice?
No, it was just me just singing, yes, we can.
Oh, it just sounded like you were doing a bit of a, yes, we can. It's just
all right. No.
Apparently, you stole it from Chavez. Chavez.
Jabe?
Si se puede. From Chavez, but yeah, Uncle says it's good. It's a good crib. I assume that means stealing.
My lord, our men are in command of the city.
Oh, there's tons of them. These are good. Right, check out some of these. Actually, I'm gonna go way back because I wanna hear your opinions on the earliest US. All right, these aren't very good actually. The early ones are clearly pre-marketing. Independent, Treasury, and Liberty. That seems too complicated to catch the people's attention. I'll cycle forward about 50 years. Romanism and Rebellion. Sounds pretty cool. Ma, where's my pa? Decent. Tell the truth. But the 1884 election seemed to be the one that had the wildest slogans. Blaine, James G. Blaine, the Continental Liar from the state of Maine. Man, 1884 was brutal.
Is these like what other people were writing about them? Because that seems like a counterproductive slogan to have.
These
if
were
you're trying
election
to win.
slogans, but that one wasn't necessarily. This was for. It was an attack campaign.
Right, yeah, okay. Because
obviously this
why
wasn't.
on earth would someone?
James G. Blaine was not advertising himself with the Continental Liar from the state of Maine. But yeah,
It's
yeah,
getting
the
scrappy
late
in here, isn't
1800s.
it? Bring him down, boys.
They are getting chained. Defeat the New Deal and its reckless spending. Alfred M. Landon said in 1936.
That one's a straight to the point type of one then.
Let's get another deck, I assume. That's in retort to a card metaphor.
By God's
That's
will, we have
that sounds good.
triumphed.
I thought he was talking about boat.
Gods be praised.
You know, for all those
He has
pro
granted
boat
us
people.
victory.
I
Right.
like Ike. That one was famous. I like Ike.
Right, we
All
have
the way with
we
the
have
BJ
Dublin,
or LBJ. Sorry, Dublin's ours.
Dublin
But
and
also
Inverness. We
all
have
the
it
way-
all now.
All the way with LBJ. That's unfortunate. That
Yeah.
sounds like
It's taken on a different
Spanish
meaning
sexual
since then,
flavour.
hasn't it? Yeah.
Ready, sire.
Lyndon B. Johnson has an unfortunate fortune. Bush's slogan was so bad, the 1,000 points of light. Yeah, that sucks. That's just like lame.
1,000 points of
Uh,
light. That sounds
yeah,
like
I
a
don't
bad
even know.
sci-fi novel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I
Man,
mean,
so-
this might be a good place to stop the stream, I guess, because we've got Inverness, we've
Take
got
Dublin.
Dublin, we've got the British Isles now.
Is there
So-
nothing else on Ireland in that shade?
No, that's just all. You can see on the little map
Farm.
down here that it's all red now. So there's only one
One
thing over
territory.
here.
Why do
So
you want
yeah,
to hear some weird presidential slogans from like the 1900s? That was the century we were born in, to be fair. But
yeah. Go on then. Let's finish the stream with some bad slogans.
Wilkie, what the Wilkie for millionaires, Roosevelt for the millions. Don't even know what that means. Or carry on with Roosevelt.
That was Roosevelt's campaign. Carry on with
Both of them.
Roosevelt.
And the Wilkie for millionaires, Roosevelt for the millions. I mean, I get the idea. No, wait, we've got a better one. Nixon now. That's it. Just
Yeah, right,
Nixon
okay.
now. And not just peanuts, Jimmy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
Does he, when he says not
Uh,
just peanuts, were people assuming that all he was going to offer them was peanuts? So he was like, right, my slogan has to be not just peanuts.
But also he had a leader for change, why not the best, and peaches and cream, all Jimmy Carter.
So, peaches and cream and not just peanuts. So
And peaches and creams, and not just peanut. I mean, I guess you like.
maybe it was peaches, cream,
I
and
guess-
peanuts.
Well, no, not just peanuts. There
That's
was
what I mean,
peaches and
because
cream.
peaches
There you
and
go,
cream.
It's all three.
Yeah, all three of
The
them.
trifecta of amazing food.
We will not surrender
But-
these waters easily.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? Jesus, like. I mean, they have clearly honed in on the whole forward crack on, haven't they? Like, you know, forward. Wait, what? What the? Oh shit! They can't lick our dick. Hang on.
No way. No way.
Popular campaign slogan for Nixon supporters: "They can't lick our dick." Wait, what's going on? I mean, wait, hang on. Did Nixon won 1972, right? They could not lick their dick.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah, 72.
that's ridiculous.
What? Oh, apparently, Carter was a peanut farmer, hence and he gave up his family farm to avoid conflicts of interest, unlike Trump. Trump did give up the family business and left his inept sons in charge, if I recall correctly.
Wasn't he
but maybe
forced
I'm
out
wrong.
of the business by the banks who were either going to like
At your service.
completely take over or they did take over a lot of stuff because he went bankrupt, didn't he?
No. I mean, as he became president, I think there was a whole deal with.
Okay.
He was like, my sons are in charge of all my businesses now, and also all my businesses now in the White House as well. So his sons were essentially in charge of everything except that one he really hates. And wait, hang on. Longplay says he turned his farm into a solar facility. Is now grown to power half the local city.
That's pretty cool.
I assume Carter and not Trump.
Let's
but
vote. Why don't you just vote Jimmy Carter back in? Was he? He was president, right?
Yeah, one termer, right? I think. I'm gonna look him up.
Maybe he should have had more than one. He seems like a canny bloke.
He can only have 2 maximum, right? But he's not dead. Oh no, he's alive. Get him back in. Get him back in. He's not much older than the current president, to be fair. Governor of Georgia, wait, 77 to 81. That's all. Oh, he's a one-termer. I did not know that. And the most thing I remember from Jimmy Carter is from Man on the Moon, where Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman would impersonate Jimmy Carter, but purposely do it really terribly. Like, and not even do an American accent. Be like, my name is Jimmy Carter. I am Jimmy Carter. Just to, like, bomb on stage. Like, that was his joke. Like, that he was a shit impressionist or whatever.
Right, we're definitely going to stop here before I fight this guy. But look at that. The Kings even come up to try and sort this mess out because they've tried to take Ren so many times.
But also, Robert the Cuckold is, like, kicking ass and taking names of people who are fucking his wife.
He's a master of warfare, though. He's literally fully starred up now. Look at that. You cannot improve anything.
That's what I mean. He's got all these stars, but his name is still Prince Robert the Cuckold.
Because he just spends all his time fighting. He doesn't realise what his wife's getting up to.
His wife is having as much success on the battlefield as he is.
As her, on her battlefield.
Right.
People laying siege to his wife in a very different way.
Yeah. Yes, they can. What was the other one? Not just peanuts.
Not just peanuts. Yes, we can. Right. I think that's probably a good spot to end. Oh, God. That's a terrible slogan. They must have known even at the time that didn't sound good.
Surely Dick meant Dick back then, right? No,
I don't know. Maybe it didn't.
We don't have the time for this shit.
We don't have time. We can discuss that next episode. You can do some research and we'll figure out if that means that Dick. Back in. Yeah.
You want me to search Dick on the internet? No.
Well, no, just particularly that slogan.
Just licking dick. Yes, I'll just search licking. I'm gonna search licking dick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that'll go well.
That's terrible. Right. Anyway, we'll just call it there. Thanks everyone for tuning in for this episode on, I guess, taking over
Dick.
your political representation and
licking dick.
Yeah, bad American political slogans, and we'll catch you next time.
It's been grand.
See you later.